Friends. The name of this film is Serenity, which was released in the year 2019. In its story, there is a mysterious island where a man named Dill is trapped. He tries to know how and when he came to this island because there was no way to go out from here. To understand, watch till the end. When the story of the film begins, we see Dill, who is the main character of this story. Dill has a boat, and he is very fond of fishing. Dill lives on an island called Plymouth. To earn money, he often takes some tourists to catch fish. Dill sets the rod for them, and the tourists catch fish themselves, which makes them very happy. In return, Dill gets some money. Even today, Dill and his partner are with two tourists who had given money to catch fish, but today, something different happens. When the fish comes near, Dill refuses to give the rod to his client. Actually, Dill has been catching a special fish for a long time. He was trying to catch the tuna, and today he might have caught the fish. The tourists get angry when the tuna is not given the rod, but Dill silences them by showing them the knife. Unfortunately, despite all his efforts, he does not get the tuna. Now he also has to return the money to these tourists. Although it was not a big deal for Dill, Duke was very disappointed because he had to pay his granddaughter's university fees. Dill promises her that he will give her the money. After this, he goes to meet his friend Diana. Diana gives him some money. When he spends time with her, Dill asks her about her son. He was also very fond of boats and fishing. But the real deal was that he wanted to let Duke go so that he could work at a place where he would get good money. After this, he goes to a bar. While talking to the bartender, we come to know that the people here know even the smallest things about each other. Now, why is this so? We will know further. The bartender says that you have tried to catch that fish 4 times. You should give it a name. Then Dill says that its name is Justice. At night, he went to give money to Duke and tells him that tomorrow we will go to the sea again. Duke asks how many clients are going with us. Then Dill tells that we will go alone because he wanted to catch that fish at any cost. Duke does not find his decision right because it was costing him money. At night, when Dill was in his house, he remembers his son who is now with his wife after divorce. He was also very fond of fishing like his father. The next day, he went to the sea with Duke in a boat. Despite waiting the whole day, they could not get that fish, due to which Dill was very disappointed. On returning, he tells Duke that you are bad luck for me. Ever since your wife died, your luck has been bad. Duke feels very bad after hearing this, and he angrily takes his things and leaves from there, but in reality, Dill had done this deliberately so that Duke finds work somewhere else. When he comes to the bar at night, the bartender tries to convince him to give up his insistence on catching that fish, but Dill does not listen to him. Then Karen, who is Dill's ex-wife, comes to meet him. Dill knew that she has come here for some purpose. After taking her to his boat, he asks her, "What do you want from me?" From their conversation, we come to know that Dill was earlier in the army. For some reason, he left that job. Karen says that you were right and I was wrong. Actually, after divorcing Dill, Karen married Frank. Frank was a rich man, but not a good man. He beat Karen and always kept an eye on her. His madness has increased even more. When Dill asks her about his son Patrick, Karen starts crying. She says that Patrick always stays in his room, scared. He does not have to listen to all this, so he spends the whole day on the computer. He plays games. His teachers say that he is very smart, but now he is very quiet. Dill says that you should divorce him. Then Karen says, "I cannot do this. He will kill me." And that is why she came here. Actually, she wanted that she and Dill should kill Frank together. She will bring him on the boat on the pretext of fishing. And for this work, she was even ready to give him $10 million. But Dill refuses this because he did not want to kill anyone. After Karen leaves, a man wearing a suit comes looking for Dill. Actually, he was keeping an eye on Dill for many days, but he could not meet Dill. The next morning, when Dill went to take a bath in the sea, he heard his son's voice, and for a moment he also saw his face. Meanwhile, we hear the voices of Frank and Karen screaming, "We see Patrick who was in his room," which means there is some connection between these father and son. Well, there, Karen's husband Frank had arrived at the hotel where Karen was staying. Karen was nervous seeing him because he was supposed to arrive in 2 days, and as soon as he arrived, he would call Karen. The next day, Dill went to a local shop to buy fishing equipment. The woman working there told him that people were talking about Frank, that he had been beating his wife with a belt for an hour, and Karen had not even uttered a word. Dill left without talking about this. When he came near the boat, he saw that Frank was waiting for him with Karen. Frank says that my wife told me that you will not take us fishing. Dill says that I have violated some rules, so I cannot take anyone alone on the boat. Frank says that on this small island, the law loses in front of money, so you don't worry about this, but Dill still does not agree to this. Then Frank says that every person has a price. I will come here tomorrow, and you will take me fishing. After this, he starts leaving from there. Meanwhile, the same unknown man comes to Dill looking for him, but this time also Dill does not listen to him. The man leaves without looking at his watch and says, I am 20 seconds late, something is wrong. Later, Dill goes to sell fish where Carlos tells him that someone was looking for you, but Dill is not interested in it. Then he goes to give Diana's cat, which was lost. Diana says, I heard Karen asked you for help. You are a good person. I think you should help her. After leaving from there, Duke comes to meet him. He says Frank is going to give you $0. I am not going to kill him. Karen says he will kill me and Patrick. I know you talk to him. He can hear you through his computer. You both are connected to each other. Dill does not answer her. Well, later, when he and Duke are in the sea, Dill tells his heart that he feels something is wrong here. While fishing, Dill asks Frank if he has children. Then Frank says, I have a stepson. I tried a lot to befriend him, but he spends the whole day on his computer. His math teacher says that he is a genius, but he spends the whole day playing a stupid game in which a man spends the whole day fishing. He does not like me, Dill asks. Why does he hate you so much? Then Frank says, I do not know. But one day I will kill him. Hearing this, Dill gets angry, but before he can do anything, a huge shark gets caught in their hook, and they started to catch him. Well, after coming back, Dill says that tomorrow we will go again. Karen gets a chance to talk, so she again offers Dill to kill Frank. Karen says that Patrick also wants the same. Hearing this, Dill gets into deep thought. Duke had also heard their conversation. He asks Dill if he knows those people. Dill says that she is my ex-wife. During my service in the army, I went to a war. After returning from there, I came to know that she has gone to Frank. Duke advises him that whatever the situation, he should not kill anyone. At night, Dill met Karen, and now he agreed that he will kill Frank. He just wants money. He loves all this. When Dill came home, the same unknown man came to meet him whom we have seen many times in the film. Well, he had brought the same device with which Dill can catch the tuna fish, which Dill has been dreaming of catching for a long time, and the man was going to give this device to Dill for free. The man says that this is the rule of the game, and I am the rule. Hearing this, Dill feels strange, and also doubts the man, so he threatens him, and asks him, who are you? Then the man whose name is Reed tells him that actually, all this is not real, it is just a game, and the rule of the game is that no one will die here. You are a character, and you have to catch that tuna fish. Dill does not believe his words, but he was always suspicious about this place. He did not remember when he came here and for how long he has been here. Anyway, here the audience comes to know that this game was probably played by his son. Reed said that for the last few days the game has been glitched. That is, the one who made this game probably wants you to kill that man Frank. But according to my rules, killing anyone on this island is prohibited. So I have come to tell you the rules, and I myself do not know why the one who made this game is changing the rules. Dill finds his words nonsense. The next morning, Dill realized that he is not able to wake up before the alarm, which indicates that maybe he is really in some game. Everywhere he was hearing only one thing: go and catch that fish. He tries to remember why and when he came to this island, but he does not find any such memory in his mind. He sits in his car and goes far ahead, and now he starts feeling that all this is not true. He was talking to himself, then Diana's son Samson comes to meet him. He says, I needed someone. Can I work with you? On this, Dill starts laughing and says, when I asked you from this game, I did not get you, and now this game is giving me everything. Dill leaves from there. To clear his doubt, he started asking some questions to the store owner, but he always changes the topic. Then Dill calls and tries to find out whether Reed is real or not. He gets the answer that Reed is real. Dill gets fed up and goes to the bar so that he can have a drink, but the bartender also tells him the same thing. He says, "Are you not going fishing today? You should go to work. Don't take tourists. They always trouble you." That is, the rules of the game were telling him not to kill Frank, but Patrick had something else in his mind. On the other hand, it is shown that when Karen opened her eyes, she found Frank injured in the bathroom. Last night, 6 people killed him. Actually, this was the work of Duke. It was he who had paid some people to kill Frank so that he could not come on the boat today. Duke tells Dill that I did what I thought was right for you. Dill gets very angry at this. Despite being injured, Karen convinces Frank to go fishing. Frank was sitting disappointed on the seashore when Reed comes to him. Dill says, "I am not able to understand anything. Why am I here? What is the purpose of my life? Have I gone mad?" Reed says, "I also do not know anything about this, but I am. I know what is happening here. We are all someone's dream and only he knows about us who has created us. And maybe you know who he is." Then Dill says yes. He is a small child who is sitting in a dark room and watching us. His stepfather keeps killing his mother. Maybe that is why he has created this game, in the hope that maybe one day he can bring back his real father and teach his stepfather a lesson. He wants that I will give him justice no matter what happens. On this, Reed says, "If this is what you want, then I will break the rules of the game. If this is what our creator wants, then you should do the same." Karen brings Frank on the boat. On this, Dill runs towards his boat. Actually, Patrick had created such a game in which he could spend time with his father, but as his stepfather's torture increased, the fire in Patrick's heart to kill him also increased. He wanted to get a hint that killing Frank was not wrong, so he allowed Dill to think in the game so that Dill listens to his heart, and whatever his decision is, Patrick will also do the same. This was the reason why the game was repeatedly reminding him that he just has to catch the fish, but Dill's thinking started changing. Anyway, Dill reaches the boat where Frank and Karen were already present. Dill takes Frank to the sea. Frank's condition was already very bad, and Karen had also kept him intoxicated. Then they come to know that Samson is also on the boat who could spoil their plan. But in the end, when Dill handed the rod to Frank, the shark pulls him into the sea, and that is his end. In the real world, Patrick, i.e. Dill's son, really kills his stepfather Frank, and we understand that Dill's real fight had ended with death. What is in the game is just Patrick's thoughts. Anyway, in this after the murder, Patrick is kept in a mental hospital. In the game, we see that Karen says goodbye to Dill, but in the deal, she had put a condition of adopting Patrick. Dill knew that it was just a game. Then Karen says, crying, that someday you will definitely meet her. Then Karen disappears from there and Dill gets a call on his phone. Patrick was on the other side of the call. Hearing his voice, Dill gets emotional. Patrick says that I have done something very wrong. Then Dill explains him that whatever you did was for good. Patrick says that I will make some changes in the game so that I can meet you. Dill becomes very happy and says that I will wait for you. After the call is disconnected, Dill sees that everything is changing there, and the next moment, we see that Patrick is also in the game. He is running towards the boat to meet Dill. Seeing him, Dill becomes very happy. Both of them hug each other. Even though it is in the game, Patrick is with his wife. He was with his father, and this is where the film ends. Friends, this story shows the love between a father and a son. The absence of a father is felt more by those whose father has left this world. We hope you liked our video. We will meet you in another story.